qualifier first leg at Union Saint-Gilloise against Rangers, and our commentary team, Richard Foster and Liam McLeod.
Well, last season's Europa League finalists are aiming to end a 12-year Champions League hiatus. The most recent foray saw them in a group with Manchester United, Valencia and Bursaspor before they went on to lose to PSV Eindhoven in the last 16 of the Europa League. Here they are though, just about half an hour away from Brussels. We're just to the west of the Belgian capital, in the town of Leuven, which is famous for a very famous beer. The brewery is a little over a mile away from the stadium that Rangers will be playing this first leg in this evening, as the teams switch after the coin toss down below us. The Rangers team for this one this evening, 4 changes from the weekend win over Livingston at Ammanvale. McLaughlin continues in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands and Barisic across the back, Kamara, Jack and Lundstrom across the middle. Debut for Matondo on the right with Tillman on the left and Colak through the middle. And the Rangers players will kick the game off in just a moment, wearing their change colours, the white and red. They're going to go shooting from right to left here as we watch from the back of the stand opposite where the dugouts are, over on that far side. It will be Rangers to go from right to left. Very warm conditions, around about 26, 27 degrees Celsius in the evening sunshine here in Belgium. Union Saint-Gilloise wearing the yellow shirts, navy shorts, yellow socks. We'll go from left to right after that wonderful Cinderella season they had, it's been described as they finished runners-up to Club Brugge on their first top-flight season in half a century. So Rangers to kick off. They of course failed at this stage last season against Malmö. The Swedes, now though under Giovanni van Bronckhorst, and having reached the Europa League final, they were a penalty shootout victory away from being pot 1 seeds for the group stage of this tournament. That's how close they were to getting into the group stage of the Champions League without the need for these qualifying matches. They've got 2 hurdles to overcome. The first here in Belgium, the second leg at Ibrox next week. And as Richard was saying, PSV Eindhoven have drawn first blood against Monaco in the Principality in the first leg of that one, about half an hour ahead of us. In fact, they kicked off 45 minutes ago, just getting into half time. Little delay to kick off here. The referee was actually over talking to the 2 managers, I think, over on the far side. Not sure exactly what was going on there, but anyway, Rangers will get the game underway about a minute after the advertised kick-off time. UEFA won't be happy about that. Now the game is underway, and it's a first touch there from Tillman, who knocks it back to James Sands wearing the number 19, and he launches it high into the air towards Colak, and it's headed out by the Englishman Christian Burgess, who plays at the centre point of that back three. For Gilloise, it's a formation they are very used to, and they've won the ball back from Rangers over on that left-hand side, and it will be taken forward down towards the halfway line, where Rangers will pinch it back anyway. And it's with Connor Goldson, who plays it to Sands, who's deputising at centre-half. No John Suter, albeit he didn't have the most comfortable afternoon at Livingston at the weekend. But of course they've lost Bassi, they've lost Balogun. Hilanders seems to be injured most of the time these days. Clearly, Richard Foster, that's an area they're going to have to watch out for tonight. But actually long term, it's an area they seriously need to strengthen, that left centre-back position.
Yeah, I think they do. I think, you know, Sands can drop in there and he can do a job. We've seen Lundstrom drop in there. They obviously signed Suter. I'm not sure, again, can he play 2 games in a week with the injury problems he's had in his career? But you're looking at tonight, you're looking at Connor Goldson's the only recognised defensive player there. Sands, more of a midfielder, like I say, can slot into that position, but it's not natural to him. He doesn't sense danger the same way Bassi did, the same way a Balogun would. So it's probably an area, if they're wanting to go forward in European competition as well as put up a fight in the domestically, they're going to need to strengthen that position, no doubt.
Sands in possession here, left of the centre circle, rolling it back into his own half. The pitch, incidentally, was well watered beforehand. It looks fantastic. The Belgian league season, a couple of games old. And that's a poor one from Ryan Jack. He and Kamara misunderstanding, and Van Zier comes forward out to that left-hand side. The pass was read there by Lundstrom, who then sidesteps himself away from his man. And it's won back by Gilloise round about the halfway line. A couple of sloppy bits of play from both teams, the very early stages of this one. As Burgess comes forward across the halfway line, he is robbed by Colak, who did well on the halfway line, and he prods it back to Lundstrom, who finds Sands. Richard.
Yeah, I think Rangers have started with a 3. I think it's definitely a 3. It's definitely Lundstrom either side, Lundstrom and Sands either side of Goldson. But we've just seen there, Ryan Jack's a sitting midfielder. The ball comes into Kamara. He tries to play it blind to Jack, who's stepped forward, and it leaves a space in behind the midfield. And that's, you don't want Union running at the back 3. I know, Lundstrom put in a really good tackle, but I think Ryan Jack has just, even though with the 3 behind him, he's still got to anchor that midfield, because as soon as he steps forward, the space between defence and midfield is too great, and it leaves a lot of space for Union to play on.
First real touch of the ball for Rabbi Matondo down that far side, but he's buoyed by the 2 around him, and it goes out for a throw into the home team. Almost 3 goalless minutes in here. Both managers at the edge of their very narrow technical area over on that far side, either side of the tunnel, as Sands picks up and finds Goldson. It's a draw and a win at the start of the season for Saint-Gilloise, including a win over Charleroi on Friday evening at home. As Rangers come forward, it's moved out to Tillman on the near side. He rolls it back onto halfway for Sands, and he turns it into the centre circle for Connor Goldson, who shifts it to his right for Lundstrom. He was so impressive in the Europa League knockout stages, in particular last season as Rangers reached the final. A penalty shootout away from beating Eintracht Frankfurt to lift the trophy not even 3 months ago, as Jack plays it back to Lundstrom, out to Tavernier, who was the Europa League's top scorer last season. Dink ball down that far side, which is then turned away there by the home team, and then it's back with their goalkeeper, who's a Luxembourg international, Anthony Maurice. 50 caps he's got for Luxembourg these days, as Rangers get a free kick. Tavernier is fouled on the far side, so it's a chance now then for Rangers to swing the ball in on top of the Union box potentially, albeit Goldson has stayed back for now. Is he going to make the move forward? He is eventually.
Yeah, I think when you've got someone of Tavernier's quality, with a delivery, I think early part of the game, get your big guys forward, just get them to put it into an area and go and attack it, and see how well the other team defend.
Tavernier to take then. There's a line of players along the Union 18-yard line. The Rangers supporters behind the goal here as it comes all the way through, and eventually it'll break to Tillman on the left-hand side of the box, takes it out towards the corner flag. Now he's level with the 6-yard line, looking for space to cross, shuffles onto the left to the byline, plays it across to the near post, and Burgess clears first time, helping his goalkeeper out, and it's a Rangers throw-in on this left-hand side as Rangers attack the goal to that left. 5 in, 0-0. That's good build-up play by Rangers, and Tillman, we saw him making that cameo at Livingston on Saturday to good effect. He looks like a decent prospect as Barisic wins Rangers' first corner, indeed the game's first corner here in the 6th minute, and it's Union 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's what you want to see from Tillman though, isn't it? He gets the ball, he could pass it, but he actually wants to square his defender up and go 1v1, and he goes past him with relative ease, and unfortunately the cross was cleared, but now they've got this dangerous corner.
Barisic to take, left-footed outswinger into the Belgians' box. It comes, it's quite deep, it's headed away towards the edge of the box for Kamara. Will eventually get onto it. He's got Matondo on that far side. Wanted the early ball. Colak is slid from behind there by Sieg van der Heyden, and the referee sees that as a foul. It's right on the edge of the penalty area. Van der Heyden is protesting his innocence there. It's around about the right angle of the box. It's pretty close to being a spot kick, but it's just outside, and it's a Rangers free kick. It's, as I say, round about the angle, so it's going to be a difficult one for a shot at goal as Barisic and Tavernier conspire over there.
Yeah, but it's definitely a free kick. It's a ridiculous challenge. He's so close to the edge of his own box that, half a foot away, and he's giving away a penalty, a ball that he doesn't need to win. Colak does well, rides the tackle well, flicks it around the corner and just gets cleaned out basically, but it's a dangerous position. It's a difficult one to shoot, but it's, just put the ball in there with pace, and they're difficult to defend from this area.
As I say, the Rangers fans are in behind the goal being defended by the Luxembourg goalkeeper. It's Borna Barisic all on his own over this free kick. There is a 3-man Union Saint-Gilloise wall, which is 10 yards away inside the penalty area. This is a tantalising proposition. Barisic takes it, and the goalkeeper throws himself to his left to beat it away. Tillman looks to keep it going on that far side. Eventually he runs into trouble, but Matondo's onto it now. He and Tillman still trying to keep this attack burning for Rangers. Tillman has it. That's gone behind the line. Is it a goal kick or corner? Corner Rangers, so they keep the pressure on. 7 minutes in at 0-0.
Yeah, and Union look a bit nervous, don't they? In and around their box. They'll just have another look at Barisic's free kick. I mean, fantastic free kick. I think the goalkeeper, for me, I'm actually wanting my goalkeeper to catch that, but he chooses to punch it and keeps his team under pressure. And now they're defending another corner, but they look a bit nervous at the back, Union.
This is Union's first European match since the mid-60s when they competed in the Fairs Cup. It's the old UEFA Cup. As Tavernier plays it in, it's a poor delivery. He's going to get it back though on the far side as it was cleared, and it comes again and away it goes again. This time it's beaten away by Sinalina, the midfield player. As Tavernier wins it back on that right hand side, checks back onto the left foot, looking for support in Rangers colours. Turns it back to Sands, takes a touch and shoots, and the goalkeeper holds on. Anthony Maurice, couple of really good bits of pressure there by Rangers just in the last few minutes. It stays nothing each on 8 minutes.
Yeah, decent enough strike. You do well to beat the goalkeeper from there, but good connection, just straight down the goalkeeper's throat. But again, Tavernier, 2 poor deliveries, but then he fights to win the ball back. Set Sands up, and a decent enough strike on goal. But like I say, Rangers have settled into this game a bit quicker, although
yeah, it's a long ball which is being given chase here by Vanzier, who's claiming he was fouled. It's a goal kick only. He's not happy. He's pointing to his shoulder. It'll be a goal kick to Rangers, and the home fans aren't impressed. Might not be their stadium, but they're making some noise inside it. Must be a crowd of just under 10,000 inside this tidy little stadium here in Leuven. 9 minutes in, nothing each. Richard Foster.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the guy never started to fall from about 10 yards from the ball, he might have got a free kick. You could tell a mile off what he was going to do. It wasn't a foul. Sands does nothing wrong, and it peters out into nothing. But Rangers have settled the better. I think they've had the better of the ball. They look more dangerous. Union look a bit awestruck at the moment. Don't really know what to do. I think they need to try and get a foothold in the game, because Rangers, the pressure's just building and Rangers have got quality going forward, and I'm sure they'll be able to pick holes in this defence.
It's a new experience for the vast majority of this Union team, playing a European tie against foreign opposition. Lundstrom plays it short to Tavernier, level with the edge of the centre circle on the far side in front of the Rangers dugout. Eventually it's swept right to left of the circle for James Sands. Sands with the low ball infield to Ryan Jack, getting his first start of the season, having coming off the bench at Amanville the weekend. Tavernier robbed on the far side momentarily by Loic Lapoussin, and it breaks kindly back there for Lundstrom, and he squares it infield here for Goldson. Short ball to Sands, 10 in, 0-0. Sands back to Goldson, just outside the centre circle. He rolls it out to Tavernier on that far side, 6 yards inside the Union half. As Lundstrom again right to left of the circle for Sands, forward to the impressive Tillman. He's managed to play it towards Kamara at the edge of the D, but it just bobbles away from him, and it can be taken away by Bert. No hope, but not for long. It's Tillman again, and he shoots from about 25 yards, and the goalkeeper goes down to his right to hold on, and it stays Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Rangers 0.
Again, good play for Rangers, patient. Union are sitting so deep and there's not a lot of space, but Rangers are moving the ball. The ball comes to Tillman. He actually does really well on a quick turn. I think he just tries to he plays the ball into Kamara, and he's wanting it back for the shot, but Kamara tries to flick. He then does get the ball back eventually, because Union give it straight back to him. The shots, there's nothing much behind the shot, and he was never going to score from it, but Union are struggling to settle into this game, and Rangers look really hungry.
He's played 7 times for the Bayern Munich first team as Malik Tillman, scored a goal as well in a 12-0 cup romp last season, and a couple of caps for the United States. There's now Cope on this near side, the Union number 2, the right wing back. They haven't got him involved, engaged in the game, up to press. 11 and a half in, still very early in proceedings. That's a long ball down that left hand side for Lapoussin. He's not going to get there though. Lundstrom easily sees it behind for the goal kick, and it will remain at nothing each. Giovanni van Bronckhorst must be very content with the way this game started, particularly when you consider where this team has come from. An unbeaten start to their league season as well, and they came so close to winning the title in their first season in the top flight in 50 years last time out. It's long from John McLaughlin, and then the header clear there by The other Englishman in the team, Ross Sykes, along with Christian Burgess, man from Lancashire and the man from London. And this Belgian team, as McLaughlin gets it away under pressure from Van Zier, who's very much the danger man in this Union side. Did an impressive campaign last term, albeit his strike partners. The free kick goes to the home team left of the centre circle, has left the club. Here come Union down the left, just to the edge of the area. The shot is deflected and it's cleared there by Borna Barisic. It was a good run forward actually, and Rangers opened up just momentarily. Barisic is still on the deck. I think Lundstrom is the one on the deck, in fact inside the D. He might need a little bit of attention here, because John Lundstrom took that horrible facial knock in the Europa League final last season, and which we see a replay in the monitor just in front of us. Loic Lapoussin with the run forward there, and he wasn't able to get the shot clear, and Lundstrom's felt the brunt of it.
Yeah, I think he actually just gets his foot caught in the turf. He just kind of rocks his ankle a little bit. But clever play in the middle of the pitch, take a quick free kick, and they were at the Rangers backline. But as Musa, you said that he just never got a hold of his shot at all. Easily blocked and cleared, but then they're giving away a wide free kick, which is similar to the one that Rangers had the early doors.
Free kick to be taken here by the Maltese international Tillman. It comes, but it's held comfortably by McLaughlin, way too close to the keeper. Rangers will settle for that. 13 goalless minutes in. Of course, Lundstrom was involved in that head knock at the Europa League final in Seville. It was some gash on the Eintracht player's head, as Lundstrom picks up and plays it to the right for Tavernier. 14th minute of the game. A balmy evening here in Belgium, and it's now at the feet of Connor Goldson. And Rangers delighted that he decided to extend his stay at the club when it looked for all the money, as though he was going to leave for pastures new. But here he is. Lundstrom picks up right of the centre circle in his own half. Long ball, Matondo going after it, but it's going to sail through to Anthony Maurice, who kept goal against Scotland in that pre-Euro 2020 friendly a year past June. And it's picked up here by Ross Sykes, from a Burnley youth player. He was at Accrington Stanley last season. Here he is playing a Champions League qualifier. Third qualifying round, just 2 stages away from the groups. As Union come forward, it's a long ball, and it's a really important challenge by James Sands, as he went in powerfully in Bart Naukoop on the right-hand side of the D at the edge of his own box. As Tillman picks up and Rangers go away in a counter. Tillman, he's on his own at the moment down the right-hand side. 2 for company, wins the throw-in. He'll probably settle for that, given the situation he found himself in there. Outnumbered, 15 in. Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's a good play from Tillman. It's a fantastic tackle earlier by Sands. I think they get a bit lucky. The wing-back nearly gets onto a loose ball, but covering round the back Sands. But Tillman, he looks lively. You know, he wants to carry the ball, he wants to make things happen. Anytime he's got on the ball, he's looked dangerous. And the more Rangers can feed him the ball, the better it will be, because he looks like the one that can unlock the defence.
Tavernier can't keep it in play. Goal kick to the home team. Off to our left, 0-0 it remains, 15 and a half in. Rangers playing their 11th match against a team from Belgium. They've won 8 of the previous 10. Most recently they defeated Royal Antwerp twice in the last 32 in 2021, including a 4-3 win in this country. The one thing you would say about Rangers' European adventure last season is perhaps there weren't enough away victories for the manager's liking. Just the one, albeit a particularly spectacular one, at the Westfalen in Dortmund. 16 in, 0-0 here, and it's John Lundstrom getting it from his goalkeeper and then playing it back to Connor Goldson. Rangers at walking pace. Remember, no away goal rule anymore. That was abolished before the start of last season, so the home teams can perhaps take a little bit more of a chance. As Tillman picks up on the near side, close control with Ross Sykes for company, plays it back to Sands, switches it to Lundstrom. Short ball for Tavernier. Tavernier forward to Matondo, lays it back to Tavernier, gets the ball into his stride as he loves to do, down that right hand side. Early ball looking for Kamara. Sykes cuts it out though. Now with Tavernier. Union supporters wanted handball against the Rangers captain there. The referee from Bosnia disagreed, but it's Saint-Gilloise, you come away with it up towards halfway, and then there's another Rangers player gone down, and the referees decide to stop play. It's Ryan Jack over on that far side. You can hear what the home fans make of that. 17 in, and it's Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Rangers 0.
To be fair to them, I think they've got a point. It's not a head knock. I think he's had his foot stood on, which is going to be sore. Yeah, I get it, but I think Tavernier maybe tries to kick the ball out. And the Rangers are actually lucky there that the referee stopped it, because they had a man over on the left-hand side, they had 2 men down. It was a weird one for the referee to stop that, because there was no... You can tell that Jack's not seriously injured. And they got a bit lucky there.
In possession.
Well, back on.
And it's slipped back to Burgess, plays it out to the left of the centre-back, Sieb van der Heyden. And the ball down that left-hand side for Teddy Tioma, who manages to knock it forward, and Vanzier couldn't get possession on the leap as it came towards his head. The Union pick up the scraps, edging closer to the Rangers box. Sands closed the door though, and it's still the home team who are trying to get into their stride a little bit here. It's lovely skill by Lazar down this near side, driving in towards the Rangers box. Chance here for Tioma to cross, cut out by Lundstrom, and behind it goes for the goal kick. Back off Lazar. It was really good play. He's the one who opened it all up for them there. The former Ivory Coast Youth International driving towards the Rangers box. It's a goal kick though to the Scottish side. 19th minute, it stays nothing each.
Fantastic play, wasn't it? He sucks Barisic here, and then just a lovely nutmeg through his legs, and he's away from him, and then he slides a lovely ball through there. The cutback's not great, and Rangers are able to clear.
It was really good for them last season. Having been on loan from Charleroi, they were so impressed they signed him for €1.5 million. Jean-Thierry Lazare is the Union number 8. Rangers happy that attack came to nothing in the end. He's moved into the midfield though. We're beginning to see more of it, and it's Lina, number 20, long ball up towards the edge of the box, well defended again by James Sands. He's been terrific these early stages for Rangers. Kamara wins it back there, just as it looked as though Simon Dingra was going to get onto it. He's the new strike partner for Dante Vanzier up front for the home team as Tavernier slides in. Ball was won, says the referee, as Jack plays it back into his own penalty area for Goldson. But in the 20th minute, it's nothing each. But just signs in the last few minutes that Royal Union Saint-Gilloise are beginning to feel their way into this contest.
Yeah, they look more confident in the ball. They've obviously got players technically are very good. They're willing to take the ball in tight spaces. We've had a couple of decent interceptions in the Rangers back line that stopped them kind of advancing anymore. I thought there that the Rangers defender got a bit too close to the striker, but the ball broke from him and he managed to clear the danger. But you can see what they're looking to do. Anytime they get into good areas midway into the Rangers half, they're looking for that ball down the sides of the two centre halves.
Long ball comes to nothing for Rangers. Barisic chased, couldn't get there. As the local TV producer keeps showing the challenge by Tavernier and Lapoussin just a moment ago, which the referee turned a blind eye to. And there's a video assistant referee available for the Champions League third qualifying round this season. It began in the playoff stage last term. It's the home team with their goalkeeper who's in possession. Just at the edge of his box. Plays for Luxembourg, but he's actually born in Belgium in the border town of Arlon. On the Luxembourg border, as Jack wins it back for Rangers. He tried to slip it out to Matondo on the far side. It's the Wales international. Couldn't quite get onto it. And that means the home team can collect. And it's played out to this right-hand side for Naukoop. He's on it again, just playing a 1-2 with Tioma. He steps across halfway, plays it out wide right for Lazare, who turns it back to Naukoop. No way through for him in an attacking sense on that occasion, as Burgess plays it out to Van der Heyden on the left. Low ball forward, it's picked up here by the lively Adingra. Back inside his own half though, the striker. Eventually Sykes playing it back to his goalkeeper, knocked out to Van der Heyden on the left hand side of his own box. Now back with Maurice, the keeper, and a short ball played there to Lina. Burgess at walking pace, taking it out from the back, approaching the end of the first quarter of the first leg of this third qualifying round tie for a place in the UEFA Champions League. Long ball there from Maurice, the keeper. Underneath it was Lundstrom. His header's decent, referee's blown no, and the offside flag's up down on this near side. It is Saint-Gilloise 0, Rangers 0. 22.5 minutes, bang on that time now here. Blue skies above, perfect green playing surface down below, as James Sands picks up and slips it to his right for Goldson with the left foot. Goldson with the right foot out to the right hand side for Tavernier, who crosses the halfway line, checks his run and turns it back to Lundstrom, and he plays it along the grass to Goldson to his left and out to the left hand side. Sands. Barisic is an option. Sands, though, elects to move it back to Connor Goldson. And the build up to this was talking about how big an ambition it is for he and for this team to play Champions League football this season. Tavernier finds Jack. Jack back out to Matondo on that far side, but he's had it nicked off him by Lapoussin. And then the dink ball forward by Van der Heyden is collected over there by Teddy Tiuma. Back to Van der Heyden. And then Tiuma gets the benefit of the assistant referee waving his flag frantically there. And that will be a free kick to Saint-Gilloise over on the far side. 23.5 in, 0-0.
Yeah, they almost played themselves into a bit of trouble there. There was just a kind of refusal to get the ball forward early. I think, yes, they're a team who like to pass it, but in that moment they were under every pass. They were under a lot of pressure, and I felt on a couple of opportunities they could have just sent the ball forward, but they never. But I think they got lucky there getting that foul.
6 minutes into the second half of the first leg of the tie, where the winners of this will face the winners of that one. Still PSV Eindhoven leading 1-0 in Monaco. A Joey Veerman goal. 0-0 here. Sykes goes back to his keeper. And it's Maurice well outside his box under no pressure. One thing you'd say, Rangers have not managed to engage Antonio Colak in this game so far.
No, I think both teams, when they're against the ball, they just drop right off. Union drop right off back. It almost becomes a 5-3-2 for them, and there's not a lot of space in front of Colak for him to get the ball into feet.
Oh, Lapoussin's managed to push the ball out wide left here. Chance to run forward. Adinga gets across in, and it goes just wide. Well, there were two attacking it there. One is frantically appealing for the corner. Vanzier was the other one as he slid in, trying to push the ball into the net. Rangers were cut open there, probably for the first time this evening, but they get away with it, and it stays royal. Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Rangers 0. But that's a bit of a let-off there as the two attacked it, Lazar and Vanzier.
Yeah, I mean, it's good play down the left-hand side. They get in behind John Lundstrom. The cutback's a good one, and I actually think Vanzier's, I think he's tapping it into the goal, but his own player, Lazar, kind of comes from the back post right across him, brings the defender with him, and actually gets in Vanzier's way. I think if he just stays out of the way, I think he's probably getting a free shot at goal, but the two of them kind of conspire to put the ball out for a goal kick, but just shows you the pace they've got in the wide areas, the creativity. That's what happens when you got John Lundstrom playing there, because in that moment Tavernier was high, Lundstrom was almost a right back. He just gets sucked to the ball a little bit and he gets done in behind, so they'll need to be careful about that.
Adringa looks very, very quick down that left-hand side. If they can get him in, that is going to be a problem for Rangers, and he's on the ball again on the byline. The Belgians have been the better team just in the last 10 minutes or so, and here they come again. Lazar wins it, plays it out to now Cope on this near side. Low ball in field. Tiuma finds Lazar, he's in the box. Ryan Jack for company though. Jack does enough, but it breaks back to Tiuma, who shoots and scores! Deflected past McLaughlin. You just sensed it was coming, and it's the Maltese Tiuma who lashes it past the Rangers keeper. The pendulum had swung their way in this Champions League third qualifying round first leg, and Rangers have a question to answer. The Belgian runners-up take the lead in Leuven. It is Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
It's a fantastic goal as well, Liam, we've got to say that. It's a poor one for Rangers to lose, but great build-up play across the middle of the pitch, into the box. they kind of get a bit lucky. The ball, the stand on the ball gets half cleared, but take nothing away from the finish from Tuma. It comes back to him and he just lashes it in. I think it takes a little nick off Connor Goldson, which takes it past McLaughlin, but fantastic build-up play in the middle of the pitch. Good at interchanging down the right-hand side. Tuma involved for the whole move, and he finishes it off. And, you know, you can't say it's not been coming. I think they've gradually eased their way into the game. Rangers started the half better, but we've seen a minute ago down the left-hand side, they went dangerous attack, and now they've got the ball in the net.
It took a little nick off Connor Goldson's heel. I don't think that actually has any impact on it getting past McLaughlin.
When you see it again, I don't think he's saving it anyway.
Well, Rangers behind 27.5 minutes in, still lots of this tie to go, and of course Rangers have this awesome home record, so you just want to be very much in the tie. Taking it back to Ibrox a week tonight, we saw what happened with Braga and Leipzig last season in the latter stages of their run to the Europa League final, as Goldson picks up, but one behind they are as Lundstrom collects. They actually started the game very well, Rangers, but just the last 10 minutes you felt the momentum was with the Belgians, and they've profited from it as they come forward again down that far side. And it's the run forward there by Lapoussin, who was actually committing a foul in Tavernier. Rangers have a free kick, played into the centre circle. Tillman moves it back there to Sands, and now it's with Jack. Out to James Sands on this near side. Short ball back into the centre circle for Goldson. And then he moves it across halfway, and out to the right it goes. Low ball. Tavernier tries to play it early down the right hand side, and he's got caught in two minds there. He had Kamara and Matondo ahead of him. In the end he finds neither, and he goes behind harmlessly for the goal kick.
I think he wants to play Kamara, but he notices that Kamara's actually just running onto one of the back three, and then he obviously tries to change his mind at the last moment and gets it all wrong. But there's just no space. There's no space for Colak, Tillman and Matondo to get in behind the midfield of Union, and they do it really well. Their shape's very good. They're a 5-3-2. The two strikers kind of split, which you know, and they keep that middle of the pitch very, very tight and compact. And Rangers, at the start, they were kind of finding little holes, but now they're kind of struggling to keep the ball in Union's half, and it just keeps coming back to them.
It's been a proper awakening of a sleeping giant here. USG have actually won 11 top-flight Belgian titles. Only Anderlecht and Bruges have won more. However, the most recent of those 11 titles was in 1935. And 50 years outside the top division, the Pro League here in Belgium. They exploded back onto the big stage last term, and now they lead this Champions League qualifier. Rangers settling themselves back down though. Lundstrom finding Sands. He goes across the halfway line, and it's a short ball to Ryan Jack. He'll then play it to his right for Lundstrom, with Tavernier on the right-hand touchline. Instead it comes forward to Matondo, trying to take on Van der Heyden. Fouling Van der Heyden though. And that's a free kick to the home team, who lead 1-0 in the half hour.
Yeah, but I don't mind that. At least he's trying something different. He's trying to take his man on. He's trying to get in behind him, because like up until now everything's been in front of Union. As we just see another, I think it actually hits McLaughlin as well on the way in, but I don't think he's saving that even without the touch from Goldson. But you know, it was good play initially. I think Rangers probably got a bit unlucky towards the end there, but that threat had been coming, and they just strung 2, 3, 4 passes, one touch passes together, and they cut Rangers open.
That came just 1 minute after the Van Zier-Lazar opportunity, and here they come again, and it's the goal scorer Tuma. He gets the cross in, but it's too close to McLaughlin, who holds on the 6-yard line. And on 31 minutes it stays Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
They need to stop Tuma getting on the ball. I think he's at the heart of everything they do going forward. He looks like he's got a good left foot. He takes up really good positions. He's a clever football player, and Rangers at the moment are allowing him to play. They're not putting anyone against him to try and stop him.
He's a very important player for them. Last season he played 40 times, scored 7 goals, handful of assists as well. Malta international. Here's Tillman for Rangers though. Rolls it out to the left for the Croatia international Barisic. Back to Tillman. Tillman looks up to a clever dink ball in. Colak didn't gamble, and it, instead of nestling in the net via the header, it ends up behind the right hand post, and it will be a goal kick. It stays 1-0 to the Belgians. What a lovely ball that was from Tillman.
Oh, it's a fantastic ball. I think Colak just misjudged it, because it just goes over the head of the defender. I think if he just goes to head it, assuming it's going to come through to him, I think he can get a connection, but just mistimed. I think the defender puts him off as he just mistimes it.
Ryan Jack surely fouled down below us there. It's going to be a free kick. Just to the left-hand side. Oh, he's given it the other way. The Bosnian referee. I have to say, I thought Ryan Jack was the one who was fouled there. Anyway, 32 in. Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
I think he just got beyond Ryan Jack a little bit, and then felt the touch and went down. It's a to be fair,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably not a foul either way, but you always find it in games when it starts to get away from you. All these little decisions, you stop getting them, and it just allows the other team to keep their momentum up.
Free kick then, and it's the goal scorer Tiuma who takes it. It's a bit level the edge of the centre circle. He switched the play out to that left-hand side, and they've got 4, 5 waiting in the middle. In comes the cross, it's a header from Vanzier, which goes well wide. He's not the tallest, and that'll be a goal kick to Rangers. 33 minutes just about played, and the Belgians leading by 1-0.
I mean, he's not the tallest, as you say, Liam, but his movement's exceptional. You see it in open play when they're trying to build. He's always trying to get in behind there. He runs his defender into the box and then just checks off and gets his head on it. I mean, it's always going to be difficult to score from where he is, but he looks like he's a very clever football player.
Well, their season last year was all the more impressive because owner Tony Bloom barely spent a penny in the transfer market after their promotion from the second tier. Yet they went on to almost win the Belgian title, and putting those behemoths in the shade, like Anderlecht and Bruges. And you've got Antwerp and Standard Liège as well. Albeit, talking about these big clubs in Belgium, as far as the coefficient's concerned, Scotland has gone ahead of Belgium. Of course, most of the Belgian international team play abroad. There's 1 or 2 in this Union squad that have managed to get themselves into Roberto Martinez's Belgian senior national side over the last year. And as Kamara picks up and he flashes it right to left of the centre circle to Borna Barisic. 11 to the break. Rangers trailing by a goal to 0 here on Sportsound. Across the various methods of listening to us with BBC Scotland. And it's Goldson in the centre circle. Side-footed ball forward there to Kamara. Gets himself away from Tiuma. Little ball towards Cholak. Well read there though by Burgess. And now Lazar's away again, and he almost managed to squeeze it to Vanzier, who was in behind both Barisic and Sands, and that would have been a problem for Rangers had he got through to him. Instead, it's Rangers on the counter with Barisic. Left-footed cross ball comes in, headed away by Burgess, controlled well by Kamara. Rangers trying to keep this attack alive here, and it's at the feet of the Finland international, who finds Jack. Jack with a disguised ball forward there to Tillman, who can't control. Tiuma picks up and rolls it back to his goalkeeper calmly, and Maurice even more calmly plays it to his left there, or Mapusan, who finds the goal scorer Tiuma. 10 to the break. Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
That's my worry with Sands in the defence. He actually intercepts the pass really well, but he stops. If that ball goes in behind him, Vanzier's away. In that situation, the defender's got to drop there and track the run, but he kind of gambles that he's going to intercept the pass. And for me, he gets lucky. Whereas I think if you've got a more defensive-minded player there, he drops off. He probably still intercepts the ball, but it's just that if you're trying to play a high line and there's no pressure on the ball, you're going to get caught out. We've seen Lundstrom get caught out with the same thing on the other side earlier in the game, right before the goal.
Foul there by Tillman on Sykes down this near side. And it is the home team in possession, and they have it here with Lina. And now it's with Burgess. Long ball out to this near side. The chest there by Naukamp. He's going to get it back here from Lazar. He's inside the box. Right hand side of it. Big moment coming up here as it's pulled back. And it's a brilliant challenge by James Tavernier, who slides in to deny Simon Adringa. And then eventually it breaks back into the box towards Vanzier. And Goldson puts it out for a throw-in. Rangers are up against the ropes a little bit here in Belgium. But it remains Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, it's so simple as well. It's a long ball out from defence, but Borna Barisic gets sucked to the ball, doesn't win it, and then gets done with the 1-2 in behind. But what a tackle that is from James Tavernier, because that's 2-0.
Fabulous defending by the skipper. However, there's a long throw, I think, coming up here. Can't quite see it because of the supporters standing up in front of us. In comes the throw, headed away by Goldson, and it will go out for another throw on this near side to be taken by Ross Sykes, who I remind you was playing for Accrington Stanley last season. It will be a throw-in which will be taken by Sykes again. This time he's going to look potentially for a short option. Tillman's won it back for Rangers though, and he plays it into the midfield for Kamara. Matondo's away on his bike to the right if he can find him. He delays and delays, and eventually he turns to his left and plays it to Tillman. Coming forward, didn't ever look in control of the ball though, and he's had it pinched off him by Sykes again. He's done well in the early stages of this game. He's managed a couple of appearances in the league since arriving at the club. He looks pretty assured. In fact, the back three look pretty assured at the back right now for Gilloise.
He picks the wrong option there. Kamara's driving in the midfield. He's got Matondo out wide, 1v1 with his defender. You fancy him all day with his pace. Just give him the ball and let him go and make something happen. He checks back, gives a slower ball out to Tillman, allows the whole Union team to drop back, and the attack amounts to nothing. He's got so much space, Kamara. Just drive forward and play Matondo in and give him something to do, you know, because he's been starved of the ball. He comes to the ball too often, but there he peels out. Just roll the ball wide to him and go and let him get his defender. But Rangers back on the ball now, and they look like they've got a little bit of control back in the game after that kind of 10-minute spell.
1-0 defeat tonight isn't by any stretch of the imagination a disaster in footballing terms. We know that. Rangers could quite easily wipe that advantage out in the second leg at Ibrox, and they don't want to be more than one down. They would still fancy themselves in that kind of scenario, that kind of situation.
Yeah, well, I think we've seen the way there was a nervousness about Union at the start of this game. You know, next week when they go to Ibrox, that's going to be ramped up with the atmosphere that the Rangers fans provide. But you know, they still need to be in the tie come that second leg.
Yeah, a little attack has been stymied there, and it's Saint-Gilloise coming forward. The ball won back by Sands, but illegally, says the referee. And James Sands is the first yellow card of this Champions League qualifying tie in the 39th minute, with Rangers trailing by 1-0.
Sands there for me. He gives away the free kick, he gets booked, and then he tries to block the quick free kick. That's almost you sent off within the space of 10 seconds. You've got to kind of use your head a little bit there. You've been booked, just walk away and get back in the position. But for the last 10-15 minutes, he's really started to struggle. You can see that he's a midfielder playing in defence. I think we might see if Rangers can get to half time like this, I think we might see a change.
Yeah, the defence has been creaking, hasn't it? It has conceded one goal. There could have been another one had Lazar not gotten Van Zier's way a minute before the Tuma strike. As the ball comes back into the Rangers box, and McLaughlin will see it behind for a goal kick. The home team have a man down just now, and it looks as though it's Van der Heyden who is down. Richard?
There's a free kick. I think
he's given it. Yeah,
he goes long with the ball, the goalkeeper, and he just nips in and heads it. I think he just gets caught by Matondo. It's nothing dangerous or horrible, but it's just one of those where he feels a touch again, he goes down, and Union retain the ball again.
Yeah, not a dangerous challenge, but a potentially dangerous situation that the Rangers defence is facing here in the final 5 minutes of the first half of the first leg of this third qualifying round Champions League tie. You do not want to be going up the tunnel at half-time 2-0 down. You need to screw the nut for this set piece, which Tuma takes, and it comes. A few have broken the lines, beaten the trap, and the header towards goal by Burgess, plucked out of the air by John McLaughlin. And that's another dodgy little moment for the Rangers defence there. They held their line, but the Gilloise players broke it pretty easily there.
Yeah, the problem they had was they're holding that high line, but the Gilloise players are 5 yards deeper, so they start running as Tuma starts to run up his run-up, and by the time he actually crosses it, they're still in line with the Rangers defence, and they're static. And I think if he actually leaves it, I don't know who it was that headed it, but if he leaves it for his player behind him, he could probably bring it down. It's a dangerous tactic when it's different if you're up against your man and you can stop him running, but when he's 3 or 4 yards off you and he's already got the run on you, he's onside, and you're basically static and can't really do anything, and they were nearly exploited there.
PSV Eindhoven still leading Monaco 1-0 going into the final 20 odd minutes of that match in the Principality. Monaco 0, PSV 1. The winners of that play the winners of this, as Cholak picks it up at the right angle of the box, can only force it forward, and it's gone behind. Well, I thought that was going for a goal kick. The defender's taking a touch and it's gone behind for the corner instead. Bonus ball for Rangers this one. 42 minutes played with Union Saint-Gilloise leading by 1-0. Corner right in front of the Rangers supporters for James Tavernier. He stands over it, outswinger with the right foot coming up here from the Ibrox captain. Here it comes into the area, bounces and bobbles in the 6-yard box, and eventually it's cleared there by Adingra, and the striker back helping his defence, and then the referee blows his whistle again, and it's Matondo involved once more. Free kick to Union just in front of the Rangers dugout on that far side, level with the edge of the centre circle. 42.5 on the clock, and it's Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
I think that's just a waste. You know, Union they're set up, they're zonal marking, but they're all pretty much nearly, you know, within 6-7 yards of their own goal, and you know, that's where the ball from the corner goes. We're just, you're hitting an outswinger, so keep it away from the goalkeeper, keep it about 12-15 yards out, and you'll have your big players able to go and attack the ball. Lundstrom tried to attack it at the front post but couldn't quite get there, but it was just a bit of a waste because he played the ball into exactly the area.
Okay, well, Tiuma looked like he fouled Lundstrom in the centre circle. I'm assuming the referee's given the free kick, but John Lundstrom and Tiuma had a little argument there which ended with Lundstrom pushing him in the back, so he's fortunate to get away with not being booked there, John Lundstrom.
Yeah, that's good refereeing for me. You know, he could have made more of that than it was, but
he's taking the sting out of it.
Yeah.
And it's Goldson out to Sands on the near side, ticking towards half-time. This is the 44th minute. 1 to go after this, plus anything the Bosnian referee adds on at the end. Here's Tavernier on the right in an attacking position, and then Tiuma covering across, puts it out of play. Rangers throw in, level with the Saint-Gilloise 18-yard line. On the Rangers' right as they attack the goal to the left. Tavernier gets it back from Kamara. Couldn't force it through, but he's got another throw in. So Rangers ending the first half on the front foot here as we go into minute 45. Lundstrom getting the boos from the home supporters after that incident a moment ago. Sands back into the centre circle. Square ball to John Lundstrom. Took a heavy touch, but he's able to move it out to Tavernier. Back into Lundstrom. And then back to Goldson. Goldson out towards Tavernier, gets onto it now. Tavernier takes the touch, looks up, right foot cross comes in, headed away. It's only half clear though. It's Barisic. Rangers knocking on the door at the end of the first half here, looking for an equaliser. Jack plays it short to his left for Barisic. He's forced back the way though to Sands, midway inside the Union half. Square ball for Goldson. Goldson turns it out to Tavernier on that right hand side. Under pressure from Lapoussin, plays it back there to Lundstrom. To the edge of the centre circle for Goldson. Goldson out to Jat. Rangers going from right to left here. Out it comes to Barisic. Final few seconds of the 45 minutes. Barisic with the cross. It's cut out. It was out for a throw-in. 1 minute of injury time's been added on at the end of the first half. We're into that now with Rangers trailing by a goal to nil. But they have the ball up the pitch as they try to find an equaliser before the interval. That would be quite the prize. As Tillman rolls it back the way though to Sands, level the edge of the centre circle, square ball infield to Goldson. He takes a chance there against Adringa and then rolls it to Lundstrom. He plays it short to Matondo. Matondo chopped to the ground. Is that a free kick? No, says the referee. Matondo bounces up for the challenge himself and out for a Rangers throw-in. He goes eventually, but the seconds are ticking away in this first half. Rangers take a quick throw and it's back at the feet now of Tavernier, who's looking for an option. Back it comes onto the halfway line for Goldson. Final 10 seconds. Rangers trailing 1-0 as Sands picks up left of the centre circle. Doesn't look as though they're going to get one last first half opportunity, to be honest. It's with Tillman, rolls it to Sands, plays it in field to Jack, and the referee blows the half-time whistle. And an awkward first half for Rangers in their first European action of this season. And last term's Europa League finalists are behind at the interval in the first leg of this third qualifying round tie in the Champions League. It was a really good goal actually. Teddy Tiuma, the Malta international, firing it home. Little nick off Goldson's heel and past John McLaughlin. That's the only goal. They could have had one just before then. Vanzier and Lazar got in each other's way, so it could have been an even worse scoreline for Rangers had that found the net. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's side, they've threatened fleetingly in that first half. James Sands And Malik Tillman with efforts in the opening 10-11 minutes, which were comfortably dealt with. The Tillman one was held comfortably by Maurice, the Union goalkeeper. So work to do for Van Bronckhorst and his players here in Belgium, where at half-time it is Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
The sun is shining. My legs are out.
This August, BBC Radio Scotland returns to the Edinburgh Festivals.
It truly is such a thrill, and I think it's shared by everyone here and wherever you're listening, to actually be back.
Bringing you live music.
You've got us vibing in the front and the back.
Conversation.
It's been a mind-stretching, thought-provoking session. Thank you very much.
Comedy.
Have you ever had to buy something you didn't want to?
Bought a scoosh of perfume from a nightclub attendant.
And everything in between.
We are revelling in the Edinburgh Festival. How are you doing?
Coverage begins Friday on the afternoon show with Janice Forsyth on BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, lots to look forward to right across the festival. This is Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. 45 minutes into their opening to the European campaign for 22-23. Nothing to put a smile on the faces of Rangers fans right now. Let's hope that changes in the next 45 minutes. 1-0 it is for Union Saint-Gilloise. Got to say, Mark Haley, for the first quarter of this game, you were saying to me that there was nothing.
So comfortable. Yeah, it was comfortable. It was Rangers in charge. Union couldn't see a player that was going to get hold of their team. And give them a shake. It was just so comfortable. First 15, 20 minutes, they dictated the pace. They passed the ball at will. Tillman, for me, was the pick of the crop for the Rangers side up front with creativity, but still yet to really test the goalkeeper. A couple of shots from long range, and then all of a sudden, you get the guy that Tillman steps up to the plate. This is the guy that's playing in the middle of the park who looks like the leader, but it looks like it took him 20 minutes to get a grasp of the game. He got into the game just before he scores. You've got Van Zier that gets caught up with Andy Gra at the near post. That was the first warning. Then 5 minutes later, Union score. They came into the game very, very slowly. And I thought the way the game was going, first half, Rangers looked very, very, very much in control. Sands has been a problem. The boys in commentary have been saying if they get a 1-0 at half-time, probably make a change. I think he's been caught out 2 or 3 times. And we said before, is he comfortable being in there? And on this showing tonight, I think we are right.
Right. I mean, you've got to look at it.
Yeah.
The one thing that did surprise me, I must admit, as soon as the game kicked off, you picked it up here and the guys in commentary did as well, that they did indeed go for that back three. But when they played that last season, Lundstrom was always the centre of the three.
Yes.
This time he's playing on the right-hand side?
Yeah, with Golson in the middle.
So the thinking behind that?
Well, they're obviously thinking about that. Is Golson more comfortable sitting in the middle? He can spray the ball, he can hit long passes and what have you. But I think just the way the team lies, I think that is the way it is. I think he's the one with the experience now, and it's up to the other two to fit in alongside him. But Sands looks very uncomfortable. Lundstrom got caught out a couple of times. Balls played in behind him. Zeman. That chance came from a Lundstrom mistake. Ball watching, ball knocked in behind him, created on the left-hand side. But for me, I think that needs to get sorted out, especially the Sands situation.
I mean, if you're making a change, so in terms of the options on the bench, Ben Davis is there, Leon King is there. Previously, of course, you might have had the option to move Calvin Bassey in from left back into the central area, if indeed he'd been there. So is he identified before the game, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst? He's limited options right now, but a number of players are injured, and of course you've also got Katic who's out of favour as well.
Absolutely, but what you've got to look at is the trust issue. You're bringing new players in. Do you trust them to come into this sort of scenario, this situation? Not seeing enough of the new arrivals. That's what will be going through Gio's mind right now. But something has to be done with the left-sided third defender.
Or do you go to a back four? Do you remove Sands, leave it as Lundstrom and Goldson, and get someone else into the middle of the park?
Well, that's the big question. But at the moment, Union have figured it out, and they've figured it out where the weakest link is. It's Sands. They targeted him. He got away with one, and Richard picked it up in commentary. You know, he stopped where he should have tracked the attacker that was running in behind him. He got lucky. He cut the cross out. He cut the ball out. But you know, that sort of at this level, playing against these sort of players, you cannot afford to be, you know, taking that. You need to be changing that pretty much as quickly as you can.
Well, they've very quickly capitalised. You said
yes,
they've
really
picked
picked
it out.
Up on it.
They've capitalised. There was another really good attack towards the end of the half, and actually a wonderful challenge by Tavernier to clear the danger from the edge of the 6-yard box. So there are real warning signs in terms of Rangers. It started so well. There was the Barisic free kick, keeper punches away. There's a couple of long-range efforts which comfortably saved.
Comfortable.
The big chance, though, came, it was actually after Union had got in front, and the player that you highlighted, Tillman, involved.
Lovely ball into the box.
Had to do better.
Cholak has to score. He's 7 or 8 yards out. It's a long way. It's coming a long way. It's clearly clearing the defender, and just, you know, flashes ahead at it. You know, it's a flicky header. It's not a flicky header that's required. It's a turn of the shoulders and a powerful neck through the ball, and that cuts all the elements of risk of missing the ball. For me, that was the Rangers' best chance. But as I say, the first 20 minutes, pretty comfortable, but never really created any danger in the Union box.
There's been an equaliser for Monaco, and it's the central defender Axel Disasi who has levelled it up at a Jakobs free kick. This defender getting the end of it, so that cancels out the opener scored in the first half by Joey Veerman. The winners of this tie, Union Saint-Gilloise against Rangers, take on either Monaco or PSV in the playoff round. It's now, with about 8 minutes to go, Monaco 1, PSV Eindhoven 1. 1-0, remember, for the team that finished second in the final Belgian standings last time out. Richard Foster, you've been ruminating on this throughout the course of the first 45. You heard what Mark had to say there. What kind of changes are you looking to make at half-time now then?
I think they need to take Sands off. I think they can put on King and kind of go as is, or they can put on King or Davies and go to a 4 at the back and move Lundstrom into midfield where we know he's better. You know, I think in midfield you've got Kamara playing that advanced role. I don't think he does it as well. On the other side, you've got Matondo, who initially looked like he wanted to run in behind and stretch the game, but then just kept coming to feet. And I think when, they drop off very well, Union, and they sit on the edge of their box, there's no space. But in those transitional moments, when they're a bit higher up the pitch, those are the times when I think Matondo can go in behind. I think Tillman can probably go in behind a little bit more and just stretch the team and allow players like Kamara a little bit, and Cholak certainly, a little bit more space to go and play in. Because at the moment, Union drop in, Rangers play everything in front of them. They keep trying to find little intricate passes in midfield. The defenders are stepping forward, they're taking the ball, and then they're all poised to go and attack. The two strikers drop right off the Rangers back three, so they're on for the ball because the Rangers players can't go tight enough. And I just think as you guys spoke about there, they worked it out. Rangers had the better of the game without creating too much, but then Union worked it out and kind of changed. They kind of went from a 3-5-2 to more of a 3-4-3 and dropped Adingra back in to almost that 10 role, or then Tuma would push up into that 10 role. But they kind of worked out the midfield better than Rangers, and at times Rangers have got 5v1 at the back, and then all of a sudden they're picking up spaces. And then when you've got Lundstrom, when you've got Sands, midfielders playing in defence, they don't think defensively. Everything's looking forward, looking towards the ball. The runs in behind them are causing a problem. I think it's doubly as bad on the left-hand side because, with all respect, you've got Barisic, who struggles defensively, in my opinion. When then he's got a midfielder inside him, and Sands, I don't think it's a good combination. On the other side, I think Tavernier deals with that threat a little bit better. But as soon as Tavernier steps forward, we've seen that, I can't remember who it was, but they got in behind John Lundstrom because they're not natural defenders. They don't think defensively. And I think it would suit Rangers better to go to a 4 and bring on another centre-half, so you get 2 recognised centre-halves. Because right now, Goldson, he's the best defender, but he's in the middle and he doesn't know who to cover. He doesn't know whether to cover Lundstrom or cover Sands. And at the moment, there's too big a gap for him to deal with. And Union finished that first half by far the stronger side. Yeah,
they looked so much stronger. Incidentally, some full times from this qualifying round. The first leg ties, of course. Sheriff 1, Pilsen 2, Ludogorets 1, Dinamo Zagreb 2, Benfica 3-0 up against Michelin, of course, recent foes of Rangers, and it's still Monaco 1, PSV Eindhoven 1. That's with about 5 minutes to go. 1-0 Saint-Gilloise against Rangers in Leuven. We'll be back with a full live second half commentary shortly. Dundee United, of course, in action on Thursday night. You'll be able to listen in to their home tie against AZ Alkmaar here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. It's also been announced that first leg is going to be live on the BBC Scotland channel. So listening into the commentary in the radio, looking forward to seeing the pictures there as well. And talking of Dundee United, this yet to be confirmed. Gotta say, but the journalist Scott Burns tends to be accurate when it comes to these kind of stories, and he is reporting that Dundee United have won the race to bring Jamie McGrath back to Scottish football. Wigan Athletic, of course, such a hit with St Mirren, closely linked with Aberdeen and his former manager Jim Goodwin. But according to Scott, he's saying that United are just about to bring Jamie McGrath back to Scottish football. He'd be a great signing, wouldn't he, for Jack Ross and Dundee United?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Experience of playing down south, make him a better player coming up here. And would do them the world of good.
Yeah, and the goals he scored last time round, of course. And actually, they've made some decent signage. I think United, Dylan Levitt, of course, signed permanently now as well. I know Jack Ross was talking about still having a bit of business to do. Well, if they have indeed managed to secure that deal, that would be, I'm sure, one that would be welcomed by the United fans. So we're live on Thursday. We'll be live right across the weekend, of course. It was a brilliant first weekend across the SPFL, the Premiership, and down through the Championship, League 1 and League 2. Some great stories, some great games, some really notable victories and scorelines over the course of the weekend. So we're all looking forward to doing it all over again next weekend. Join Kenny and the gang on Saturday. I'll be there on Sunday to start with the Edinburgh Derby. That's not a bad way to kick things off on Sunday. And then, of course, Dundee United in action against Livingston. So lots to look forward to. Still plenty to come tonight. And everyone, of course, the Rangers fans, hoping to see their team just re-establish themselves in the second half. I suppose the big difference tonight is the fact that they've been caught on the back foot as Union have come more and more into this game. The one thing you would have to say, and I know it's a slightly different team, but when you think back to Rangers and what they did in Europe all last season, and indeed for a large chunk of the last 3 or 4 years in European competition, there have been a number of occasions, Mark, where it seemed maybe their backs were against the wall. They have stepped up when they've needed to. Yeah, absolutely. But the secret to, I'm going to say, the last couple of seasons is keeping clean sheets in key events. Rangers haven't kept a clean sheet so far this season, carrying on into this game. So, that confidence there of not being able to clean the clean sheet, but also, I think, the final third for me is a problem. I think you take Morelos out of that, you've got no real grit through that middle of the park. Where you can knock the ball into him, you hold on to the ball, you'll turn people. Čolak today and at the weekend, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what's your strength here? I think balls out wide and balls into the box are probably his strength. Disallowed goal as we saw. Yeah. But as I say, from at this level, the ball that was chipped into him from Tillman should have scored from it. So It's always been a problem. Rangers are back out. Union were a little bit later, but they've just gone through a little bit of a warm-up, and they are back and ready, and so too are Richard Foster and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, Mark, talking about clean sheets, Rangers only managed one European away clean sheet last season. It was against Alashkert in the Europa League playoff round. just that one win, which came against Dortmund. Their non-Ibrox European record was played 10-1-1. Drew 3, lost 6. That includes the final in Spain as Union prepare to get the game underway. They're going to go right to left. Yellow shirts, navy shorts, yellow socks. Rangers in their change colours of the white and red as the game gets underway again, and it's Union who do so, and it's played out to this near side, and it's a long ball from Van der Heyden. No change for either team. Rangers lining up with John McLaughlin continuing in goal. It's Tavernier at the back along with Goldson, Sands, Barisic, with Lundstrom helping out. Kamara and Jack in the middle, Matondo and Tillman either side of Cholak. No changes for Union Saint-Gilloise either. And Rangers going left to right as we watch on the opposing side from the dugouts. Indeed, the TV cameras are housed on the same side of the pitch as we are. As McLaughlin goes long up towards halfway, flicked on by Tavernier, looking for Matondo. He had a quiet debut in that first half. Closed down every time he got near the ball. So he ends up back at the feet of Goldson, to the edge of his own penalty area, up to about the midway point of his own half. And then he plays it out to Tavernier on this Rangers right. Back it comes to Goldson. He rolls it to his left for Sands. Forward for Tillman. It's a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. It's played back the way to Goldson. First time low ball there for Lundstrom, who collects walking pace up towards halfway, wearing the luminous orange boots. Plays it out to Sands and then out to Barisic. Darkness beginning to fall here on Leuven. Floodlights shining down on the pitch as Matondo picks up and plays it back to Lundstrom. The supporters haven't forgotten that altercation with Tuma, the goal scorer, towards the end of the first half. As you can hear in the background, you'll know when John Lundstrom's in possession as we approach 47 minutes with Rangers trailing 1-0, and Sands took his eye off it and he's already been booked, and he's just brought his man down. The referee hasn't even given a foul there. Well, James Sands, it looked a little bit cynical. Not even a free kick, says the referee. So James Sands breathes a sigh of relief for two reasons there, because it looked as though he'd given it away, and because he knew that, it looked like he deliberately body checked the Union player.
Yeah, he panicked, didn't he? He panicked because he'd given the ball away. I'm not sure why the referee's stopping this. It's not a head knock, it's not a dangerous foul, but yeah, he took a poor touch, took his eye off the ball, tripped over it, and then he panicked. As we were just watching it again, and I think he's lucky that the touch from the Union player actually takes it back into him, and he gets a touch in the ball before he fouls him. But undoubtedly he brings him down because he panics. But that just goes back to what we're saying, you know, at half time. He's looked nervous, he's looked uncomfortable, highlighted none more so by that incident there.
Here's Glenn Kamara in the centre circle, moving it out to the left for Sands. His heart would have skipped a beat there as he took his eye off it, lost possession. As Ryan Jack picks up and plays it to the left-hand side, he's going to get it back immediately from Barisic. Now with Goldson, he's just going to leave it for Lundstrom, who picks up right up the centre circle. No ball out to Tavernier on the near side. Tavernier will win the free kick. He's been brought down by La Poussin on this near side. And it's a Rangers free kick right out on this near side touchline, which Tavernier takes quickly and rolls it back to John Lundstrom and into the centre circle for Goldson. Right-footed low ball out to the left there for Barisic, level with the edge of the centre circle, back to Sands, who finds Goldson. Under pressure there from Simon Adingra. A very lively first half. Sands goes back to his goalkeeper, and it's McLaughlin. The edge of his box, rolling it short there to John Lundstrom. It's now moved into the midfield there for Malik Tillman. Back to Tavernier, infield to Kamara. First time forward from Matondo. And again it's one back, and it's Burgess doing a good job there. He gets it forward and picked up by Tuma here. Up against Matondo, playing it infield. And it's Lazar, back out wide left for La Poussin. Infield for Tuma. And he goes back to Van der Heyden, and then onto the halfway line for Burgess. There's precious little room for Rangers. Matondo, case in point. Cholak as well. They just cannot get these attacking players into the game. And Sands with another challenge on the far side against Lazar this time. Throw in only eventually as it's scooped out the play there by Barisic. As we approach 50 minutes, and it's Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. James Sands has to be careful. I just wonder if it's crossing Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's mind to make a change that Richard Foster thought he might have made at half-time.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm looking at the bench and there's no movement. There's three out warming up, but there's no call, to get a player back in. And like you said, that's another challenge there. And all it takes is just a mistimed flick, of the foot, and he could bring someone down and get himself sent off, which would be a disaster for Rangers. But I just think with Tillman and Matondo, the space is down the side of a back three. That's where your space is. As the ball's coming wide to a Tavernier or a Barisic, they then need to make that run down the side, and they need to time it and hopefully get away from the centre half. But right now it's too static. It comes over to Tavernier. Matondo's inside, but he stood still. Everything's in front of Union. They're not threatening him behind, and so far it's very, very comfortable for them to keep their shape and just repel all of Rangers' attacks.
The sub-bench for Rangers tonight, Alan McGregor and Robbie McCrory, the sub-keepers. Yilmaz, will the Rangers fans get a first look at him? Davis, Lawrence, Wright, Ben Davis and Stephen Davis both on the bench. Sakala, Arfield, King and Devine. As Union pick up down the left with Lepusan. He's about level with the 6-yard line. Now he's away from Tavernier. He moves towards the byline. Then he takes it behind the byline. And that will be a goal kick to Rangers on 51 minutes. And it's Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. You do kind of feel that something needs to change for Rangers. It's the way this game's going just now.
Yeah, whether it's the personnel, I think maybe bring on a Scott Arfield, for Kamara. Kamara's been largely ineffective. I think Scott Arfield makes those forward runs, makes defenders think about defending. He'll get more in touch with Cholak up front. I think Sands, as we've highlighted without going on about it too much, I think he's having a tough night. You could maybe take him off and go to the back four that they're definitely more comfortable with. But at the moment, you're right, something needs to change, because the way it looks just now, and I could be wrong, they're just going to invite more and more pressure, and then they're going to concede again.
Monaco PSV is finished, one apiece. The winners of that play the winners of this in the Champions League playoff round. And at the moment, Union Saint-Gilloise have the goal. And they know if there's no more goals in this tie, it will be they who will go through to that playoff shootout for a place in the Champions League groups. Rangers haven't played in that competition now, the group stage, for over a decade. Richard's looking at me because he played for Rangers the last time they were in the Champions League group stage. He had his loan spell from Aberdeen as Sands plays it back to Connor Goldson. It is incredible to think that passage of time, 12 years has passed, as the long ball out towards Tavernier. He's kept it in play, header in field there towards Matondo, but it bounces off him and out for a throw-in to the home team on this near side. 52.5 minutes in, Rangers trailing by 1-0. Still the Rangers management team of Van Bronckhorst, Mackay and Voss sit frustrated in the dugout over on that far side, as it comes all the way back to John McLaughlin, who bowls it to Barisic, and infield it comes to Ryan Jack on 53 minutes.
I still think it's ridiculous that the champions of the country don't get into the Champions League. Now I know within those 12 years they'd have had a long period where it would have been Celtic getting straight into the Champions League, but they're the champions of the country. They should get the automatic place, and then if you want to give second and third and fourth place teams in different countries, make them qualify, but the champions of each country should get in. But you're right, it's a team like Rangers, they want to be playing in the Champions League. The performances last season showed that they're more than capable, but they're having a tough night of it tonight.
John Lundstrom in possession, rolling it infield to Goldson. Out it comes to Tavernier, but it's off target from Goldson. It's out for a throw-in to the home team. Rangers continue to trail by 1-0 here on Sports Sound, as the European action continues. Unfortunately, Motherwell knocked out last week. Dundee United to come against AZ Alkmaar on Thursday. Full coverage here on Sports Sound of that game, as United facing a tough prospect against AZ. 5th place finish in the Eredivisie last season. It's also live in BBC Scotland TV channel with Sports Scene. So wall-to-wall coverage of the Tangerines to come on Thursday night in the Europa Conference League third qualifying round. Hearts learned their potential opponents, FC Zurich or Linfield, in the playoff stage. So lots of European action to come, lots of ifs and buts though across August. Celtic already in the group stage of the competition we are watching this evening. It's Rangers lose it on the far side, and it's Tuma who moves it forward. A little ball forward to now Cope is cut out and Rangers get it back with Kamara. They get a man down again, it's Tuma is down. The referee keeps stopping play even if it's not a head knock, and he's done it again here. I'm not sure it was a head knock. As we approach 55 minutes, I was following the ball there. I think he's claiming that it's seeing a replay of it, looks like Kamara's elbows caught him unwittingly.
One of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. It's so delayed, he maybe grazes him with his fingertips. I don't think he catches him with any real menace. I think he knew he wasn't getting to the ball and he goes down. There's no way he's hurt. You can see now there's nothing wrong with him. And I suppose on that occasion the referee kind of has to stop it because he thinks it's a head knock. But there's nothing in that for me at all.
And the man who took Saint-Gilloise to second place in the Belgian top flight last season, Filius Matu, is off to Anderlecht. He replaced Vincent Kompany, former Manchester City defender who's now in charge of Burnley, and coached now by former Belgium international Karel Gerrits. His most notable playing spell was at Bruges. He also turned out for Standard Liège and tonight's host club Leuven. And at the moment, the 40-year-old is the happier of the two managers. His team lead 1-0 in 56 minutes. Rangers though in possession. Here is Sands. He clips it forward and he's annoyed with himself because he put it straight out of play for a goal kick, and it will stay Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
Yeah, they just try to force things. It's not working out what they're doing. They just try to force it. Again, I'm looking. There's 3 subs out there. I mean, let's be honest. Like you said earlier, Liam, this is a good result. If we can get this back to Ibrox, this is a good result. But I just fear that if they don't change anything, we're just over 10 minutes into the second half, then I think Union might score again because they look so comfortable defensively, and they do pose a threat going forward.
Well drilled. And Christian Burgess in particular, the 30-year-old in the middle whose senior career began at Middlesbrough, played lower league in England, as Lapoussin comes forward. Long ball for Van Zier to give chase. He's in behind Barisic, down towards the byline, keeps it in play, rolls it back, in comes the cross! And it comes off a head and over the bar. Might even have come off Lundstrom at one point as well. With 57 played, and it's Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. But that flashy counter-attack coming just after Richard Foster had sounded the alarm bells that they could score again. That was really good play, and Vanzier was really good down towards the byline as he came back across. There was just a little bit too much on it for Adingra to deal with.
Yeah, fantastic play by Lapoussin on the left-hand side. Little Cruyff flick round the corner, goes and plays a give and go. A lovely pass to Van Zier, who does well, lays it back, the cross comes in, and you're fractions away from getting a head-on goal. I think it's Lundstrom at the back post. He actually does quite well. He puts the attacker off, but that just shows you within 2 passes they're in behind Rangers and they're setting up a dangerous attack.
Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland on digital, online bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, 810 medium wave. And this Tuesday evening in Belgium, Rangers losing by 1-0 right now on 58 minutes of this Champions League third qualifying round tie, and Barisic lost it on the far side of the pass forward, breaks off Tillman, and then back off I think it eventually came off now Cope, and out for a Rangers throw, and picked up by Tillman into the midfield for Kamara, and Burgess pokes it away from him, and now Tiuma is driving forward, and he's got options right and left, and he just rolls it to his left. And out it comes here to Adingra, who's under pressure from Kamara, rolls it to Tiuma. This all happening in the left-hand side of the pitch here. Lapoussin in possession, and he turns it back to Van der Heyden. And he switches the play left to right over to that far side, but it's picked up by Ross Sykes. Union Saint-Gilloise had to beat off Middlesbrough and Millwall for his services this summer. Sykes, the right centre-back, as it's picked up in the left. Adingra moving in field. Square ball for Lazar. Rolling it out to that right-hand side. Lazar's going to get it back here, the number 8, who grew into the game in that first half. A minute away from the hour here. Here goes Lazar, he's away from 2, he's in the box, rolls it back the way. Rangers struggling, and the shot comes in low from eventually Neil Cope and flashes past the right-hand post. And John McLaughlin delighted it's not his net rippling there. 59.5 played. It's Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. But Rangers really toiling on this muggy night in Belgium. And that's given away again, this time by Jack. Tiuma has it, rolls it out to that right-hand side. for Vanzier. He's got two waiting in the box. Instead he plays it short to Tiuma, who's offside, and that will delight the Rangers players as we approach the hour mark here, and Giovanni van Bronckhorst's team still trailing by 1-0.
Yeah, fantastic play again from Union. Lazar particularly goes past his man really easy, and then the game opens up for him. Sets the ball back to, I think it's Newcop, is it? It has a left foot shot, and it's a decent enough strike. But I would say McLaughlin probably had it covered at his near post, but you know, it was a decent bit of play. But it was just sloppy from Rangers again, giving the ball away a bit slack.
Here's Glenn Kamara. He's got Matondo to his right if he wants him in an attacking position. Instead, he lays it back to Jack. If they want to get Matondo involved, they need to play the ball earlier. They're not doing that. It's out with Barisic, back to Jack. To Borna Barisic again. And then back to James Sands, left of the centre circle. Into it now for Connor Goldson. Short ball to Lundstrom, 61st minute of the game. Rangers looking for a leveller. Matondo back to Connor Goldson. Goldson surveys the pitch ahead of him. Elects to play it short, easy ball to Lundstrom. I'm too busy singing. They're not booing John Lundstrom anymore, the home supporters. It's Goldson to Kamara on the slide. It's all just a little bit hard work for Rangers right now. Tavernier wins it back, and Matondo is tackled on this near side, and he goes out for a Rangers throw-in. A bit level with 18. Yeah, it's Van der Heyden who's on the stretch there, full stretch. Tackle Matondo. Rangers get the throw-in. Now Kamara on the turn, good play there, managing to free himself of Lina. Now out to Barisic, infield to Goldson. Goldson plays it towards the edge of the box for Tillman. Couldn't quite work it through to Cholak, who has been a virtual spectator this evening, the Rangers number 9. It's now with Tavernier. Tavernier under pressure, and it's knocked away from him there by Adingra, and now it's with Lazar. And he's pirouetted away from Kamara, and then he shimmies away from Tavernier and launches it forward. Couldn't find Vanzier. And now it's with Connor Goldson after Sands won the header. 62 minutes just about in. Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0.
They're exciting when they get on the ball, aren't they? They're always looking to make something happen. You know, they've got their central midfielders who are happy to take players on. The wide players will take players on. Vanzier's making some great runs. They've just not been able to find them. And Rangers are slack, as we see again in possession there. They're just really slack and laboured on the ball.
Here's Matondo though. Short to Tillman. Again, it's a poor touch, and well, it's been brought back, I think, for a foul on Matondo. So Rangers have a free kick, central area, midway inside the Union half. And there's 1-0 to the home team, 62.5 minutes played. And there's a Rangers free kick, and it just settles things down a little bit. Looks as though they're going to be making a change pretty soon. Rangers, at least one. There's a couple of players, I think, in fact, are getting ready. So we'll get to that in just a moment. See what they're going to do. Anyway, it is Rangers with this free kick opportunity as they try and find an equaliser. Barisic takes it short, low out to Tavernier on this near side. Tavernier couldn't quite get away from his man Poussin, that comes out of play for a Rangers throw-in on this near side, which is taken quickly by John Lundstrom in field to Barisic. He plays it short forward there to Ryan Jack. Jack out to the left for Goldson. Tillman's over on that far side if he wants him. And it's with Tillman. Early ball into the box. It's hoofed up high into the air there by Burgess. Eventually, Union get it clear, but only as far as Tillman. He's done well to win it back there, the German-American. Now it's with Sands, moves it left to right of the circle for Lundstrom, along the grass out here to this near side for Tavernier. Back in field for Lundstrom. Looks up, left foot, disguised ball, couldn't find Tillman. And it's right down the throat of Anthony Maurice, the Union goalkeeper, in the 64th minute of the game. I think Ben Davis looks as though he's going to be coming on. He's one of the changes. I can't see because it's on the other side of the pitch as to who the other one is. We'll get to that in a moment. It could be Scott Wright, is it? Anyway, we'll see who Van Bronckhorst has up his sleeve. 64 played. And it's Union Saint-Gilloise who lead this game by 1-0. Champions League third qualifying round, first leg. And it's back here with Christian Burgess. And he rolls it back to the edge of his own box for his keeper. just playing it at their pace, the way they want to play it right now. When they're in possession, they look so comfortable.
Yeah, and when you look at the way Rangers are set up, you've got Ryan Jack kind of sitting in midfield, not picking anyone up, which allows Union to have the overload, and they're just knocking the ball around. The front three of Rangers are chasing shadows, and in this heat, that'll be very, very tiring. And then when they get the ball into midfield, they're always looking forward, and that's when they increase the pace, they increase the tempo. They're not afraid to go long, as we see there, and play in behind, or they can play those small intricate passes, or they've got guys in the team who'll just drive forward with the ball. And at the moment, Rangers they're really struggling to find any kind of joy in an attacking sense.
It's back with John McLaughlin, the Rangers keeper, at the edge of his 6-yard line. The ball at his feet. 25 minutes plus injury time left here. Lundstrom playing it short out of the box for Goldson, and he moves it out to Tavernier on the near side. They're all over them like a rash. The Rangers aren't getting any kind of time on the ball whatsoever.
I think they're prepared to go man for man with the press. When they've got a press on, they're prepared to be man for man at the back, and it allows them to squeeze up the pitch. But as I said before, either Jack or Kamara sits off the game, which always gives Union the extra man. So Rangers can't really press, even though they're kind of half trying to do it.
When Rangers began their European campaign last season that went all the way to the Europa League final, Union Saint-Gilloise were 1,000 to 1 outsiders to win the Belgian top flight title after 50 years away. Yet they led going into the playoff stage of the league here, as Rangers make the double change, and Reid van Yilmaz is going to come on. He's going to replace Barisic, so the Turk will come on for his debut. And the other change will be Ben Davis, another who'll come on for a debut as we head towards the final quarter of this game. 1-0 to Union Saint-Gilloise, and Richard flashing 4 fingers at me there. It looks as though, are they going to go back to have more?
No, I don't think they are. I think no. Davis is going to the left side of the defence, and Lundstrom's into midfield.
Yes, Sands has moved to the... Is that right? Sands has moved to the right, Goldson in the middle, and Ben Davis on the left.
Yeah.
And Yilmaz on the left wing back, with Tavernier on this near side. Ryan Jack is the other Rangers player to be withdrawn. 67 on the clock. Will the changes have the desired effect for the visitors? Long ball up towards Cholak, comes on off the goal scorer Terry Tuma's head, and out for a throw-in on this near side for Rangers, about midway inside the Union half. And Tavernier's over the throw. That is the final quarter of this game underway, this first leg. Lots still to play in this tie. And return at Ibrox a week tonight. That's bowled all the way back to Connor Goldson. Short to Ben Davis, who's arrived from Liverpool, having attracted the interest of Celtic 12 months ago. He's here in Belgium in Rangers colours, as Goldson side foots it to Sands, who's now playing on his right, having been playing on his left. Forward it comes to Lundstrom, back to Goldson, midway inside Saint-Gilloise territory. Short to Sands, and now it's with Kamara. Steps away from his man. Lepoussin gets it wide right for Tavernier. His cross is cut out though. Now it's Kamara. He's managed to get it forward to Cholak, right hand side, across the face of goal. There's nobody in Rangers colours to tap it home. Cholak's best moment in the game. It stays 1-0 to the home team though.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Kamara. Great little turn, but then when you take Cholak out the middle, you've got Tillman there. I don't really know where he's going, what kind of run he's making. I think when you see that he's going as wide, just get yourself across the front post.
In comes the corner from Yilmaz, headed away, only half clear though. Sands plays it short, and it will be Matondo back out to his fellow new signing and debutant Yilmaz, who's just off the bench. Now Tavernier out to Kamara, side steps away from one, can get away from the second. The referee will give a free kick to the home team after that, and it's going to be a free kick taken by Van der Heyden. 21 minutes left. It was a foul by Kamara, and it's now back at the feet of the Union goalkeeper. He knocks it out to that right hand side, and it's picked up by Sykes. Sykes faces forward and launches it forward as well, looking for the run of Lazar, headed away there by Ben Davis. Breaks back to Lazar again though. He's moving towards the centre circle now. Yilmaz trying to stick with him. Eventually it's back with Burgess inside his own half to Van der Heyden, who's got a little bit of space here. Out wide left it comes to Lapoussin, moving towards the left hand side of the Rangers box. Short ball in field, he couldn't quite get it through to Adingra, and Rangers able to get it clear, but they cannot retain the ball. Cholak couldn't find Matondo. Lapoussin has it now instead, down the left of the Rangers box again. Onto the right, back onto the left. Rolls it to Tuma, back to Lapoussin, now it's with Tuma again. Infield it comes, chance here for Lina. Then he runs into trouble, Glenn Kamara gets there ahead of Adingra. Has he managed to keep that in play? That looked like he might have gone behind for the corner. He's kept it in according to the linesman as Glenn Kamara. So Rangers able to get it clear. But in the final 20 here in Belgium, and it's Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. As the home supporters try and rouse their team for the closing 20 odd minutes as they try and find a second goal. Ben Davis with the block, but it's going to come through to Adingra, left hand side of the box. He's inside it now, he shoots, it's blocked by McLaughlin at his near post. Breaks back to Lapoussin, takes a touch, shuffles onto the right. Tuma's shot's blocked, and McLaughlin makes the save from Vanzier. They're knocking on the door here, the Belgians. Here they go, edge of the box. Lazar shuffles onto the right and shoots high and wide and into the Rangers supporters in the goal. Behind John McLaughlin there, and it stays Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Rangers 0. But that's the best chance of the second half for a second goal for the home team.
Yeah, the Rangers just don't deal with the ball in the box. They had 3 or 4 opportunities to clear it. There were half clearances, and there's a decent save. Then I think Tavernier can go and clear the ball, doesn't. Ball laid back, and to be fair to Lazar, it was once he shifts it, he's at a horrible angle to try and take the shot on, but they're knocking at the door. We've seen this in the first half. They then go and score the goal, but it's just so poor in the middle of the Rangers defence there. Just give the ball away, but McLaughlin does really well on 2 separate occasions there to keep the ball out.
Yeah, good goalkeeping by McLaughlin. It certainly looked like that first one. It was fizzing towards him. The referee stopped play just now. There is VAR, of course, for the first time at this stage, and Connor Goldson, I think, appears to be the one that they are certainly focusing on the monitor in front of us. The referee's his head bowed. He's obviously listening to what's going on in his ear here. It's unclear at the moment. We don't have any kind of indication as to what they are discussing, but something is being talked about just now at VAR level. And we're getting a little replay here. It's a short Tuma over there. It's a handball, potential handball in the box against Connor Goldson. That's what they're looking at. It's a potential penalty here. The referee says no penalty.
Yeah, I mean, his arm is up, but I think it would have been very, very harsh if that had been given as a penalty.
Oh, well, no, he hasn't said no penalty yet. He's wanting to come over and give it a look at in the monitor. There's a monitor pitch side. He's wanting to view it himself.
I can't see that.
It's definitely hit his hand. It's definitely hit it, but it's bounced back off Ben Davis and back off Goldson's hand. It's the Tuma effort.
The thing is, Liam, I'm not even going to begin to pretend I know what the rule is. I mean, it hits his hand, but it hits his own player. I don't know. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think you can give that as a penalty. He's a yard away from his player.
He's still looking at it. Connor Goldson nervously right behind the referee as well. I don't know if he's trying to influence him. But, the shot from Tuma came bouncing off Davis. The next connection with the ball was Connor Goldson's hand inside the penalty area. Rangers trailing this Champions League qualifier 1-0. He's made his mind up. All eyes on the Bosnian referee. He's given the penalty.
Oh,
Royal Union Saint-Gilloise have a penalty, and Connor Goldson is a yellow, and Rangers Champions League dreams are in big bother in Belgium.
I don't see one. How can he book him for that?
It's not a deliberate yellow, so unless he said something in the aftermath of the decision, if it's for dissent.
I'm not entirely sure what Connor Goldson's meant to do with his arm there. He stretches to block the shot. He goes past him, hits his teammate who's a yard away. I was more comfortable when I thought the referee hadn't given it. When that to me is just ridiculous penalty decision. I mean, Rangers had a few decisions last year with VAR, correct ones, right enough.
Yeah.
I think maybe bar one, maybe a penalty from Kent, but that to me is a nonsense.
Well, normally their main man Dante Vanzier has the ball in his hands, so he's going to take the penalty. It's right in front of the Rangers supporters. Of course, it was penalty shootout, hard taken Seville 2.5 months ago, and Dante Vanzier is waiting to take this. The referee telling John McLaughlin, reminding him he can't move till the ball is struck here, and it's Union's number 13 who could plunge Rangers into Champions League disarray here in Leuven. Anticipation around the home fans, nervousness for the Rangers fans. Vanzier takes and scores, rolls it into the bottom right corner. McLaughlin guesses the wrong way, and Rangers are in big trouble in this Champions League third qualifying round tie, because with 15 minutes left of the first leg, a penalty given by VAR and then the check by the referee has left the scoreline Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0.
I mean, it's a clinical penalty, fantastic penalty. Just walks up to it and rolls it into the bottom corner. Fantastic penalty, but for me, it should never be given. I think they're worthy of their 2-0 lead. I think they've been by far the better side, especially the second half. I think Rangers took too long to change it, and now they're on top. Although they're making another couple of changes now. I think it's Scott Wright and
Matondo and Tillman have come off.
Scott Wright and Lawrence, is it coming on?
Yeah, Lawrence and Wright have replaced them. And now Rangers 2 behind. 76 minutes, there's 14 plus stoppage time left of this first leg to try and get something back ahead of the second leg at Ibrox next week. Rangers would still back themselves, their fans would back themselves at 2-0 behind, with a home leg at Ibrox still to come. They've beaten some really good teams there in recent times, but there's no question it's made the task of getting through to the Champions League playoff stage a heck of a lot harder.
Yeah, and, as we could tell the goal was coming in the first half, you could tell the goal was coming in the second half, albeit a lucky penalty decision, but it's been nothing but Union pressure, and Rangers haven't done anything. Now, there was an opportunity, and I know it sounds like it's a nothing, but Union have been on the attack. It goes out for a goal kick, and John McLaughlin gets the ball, puts it down, takes the goal kick quickly. Sometimes in a game, I know you can wait for changes from your management, but sometimes just take control of the game yourself. He's an experienced player. Take this thing out of the game.
It's a terrible ball there. It's been given away. Rangers now have to funnel back as Tiuma plays it into the centre circle, and it's played out to Lapusan on this near side. Well, it gets desperate for Rangers if they ship another one tonight. Van der Heyden plays it back to Burgess, the edge of his own box. Out to that right-hand side for Sykes. It is of paramount importance that this scoreline does not get worse from a Rangers point of view, Richard.
Yeah, it is. I think, like you said, I think 2-0 is manageable for Rangers. I think they can still take it back to Ibrox. They'll have to play better than they did tonight, but I think they can claw that back 3-0, and I think the tie is over. I think because this side, look, they've actually shown Rangers a lot of respect. They get into a really, really good shape defensively, and then they break from there and they press from there. Whereas all the other teams that Rangers played last season, they underestimated Rangers. Whereas this team certainly haven't. This team have actually given Rangers a lot of respect, and defensively they've been very, very sound.
Yellow card for Ben Davis. He gives away the free kick inside the Union half. 12 minutes left of this first leg. This has been a sobering night for Rangers, as it was in Sweden a year ago. They were 2-0 down in that one. Remember, Stephen Davis scored a late deflected goal which gave them the chance of retrieving the situation at Ibrox, only for them to lose that second leg as well when their current number 9 Antonio Cholak scored twice. There's that long clearance from Maurice, goes out of play, and Tavernier takes the throw in field to Kamara. The Luxembourg international goalkeeper for Saint-Gilloise hasn't been tested in the second half. Just that Cholak ball that was flashed across the face of his goal is about as good as it has got for Rangers in the final third in the second half. A couple of long Rangers in the first half, which were comfortably saved, and Goldson's given it away, and Vanzier's driving through the heart of the Rangers defence, and he can break Rangers' hearts here. McLaughlin saves with the feet, and he goes behind for the corner. Vanzier, hands on hips, can't believe he's not put his team 3-0 up there. And Connor Goldson, my goodness me.
But there it is, the save we were talking about, Mark and I, before the game. Does he have that big save, that match-saving save in him? And yes, he does, because 3-0 and the tie's over. Fantastic. I mean, think the striker does everything right. He stays big a long time and saves it well with his feet. But that from Connor Goldson has just highlighted Rangers the whole night. That's what they've been the whole night, slack in possession and wide open in defence.
It was almost lights out there, heading towards the final 10 minutes.
That's kept them in the tie.
Yellow card for time wasting by the corner taker. And it's Inyan corner. We're about to go into 80 minutes. It's taken short back the way here for Adingra. And chopping away from right and from Lawrence. Low ball in has gone straight to Cholak. Rolls it forward to Kamara, who goes down. Referee gives Rangers the free kick just outside their box. It's the 81st minute. Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0. How big a blow was that penalty? We'll know by the close of play this time next week. Yilmaz goes down over on the far side. Referee has given Rangers possession anyway on that far side. Is it a free kick that's been given? Yeah, it is. Yilmaz takes it short back to Ben Davis. Infield to Goldson. A sigh of relief from Connor Goldson. He's so often been Mr. Dependable for Rangers. His head will be swimming though after the penalty award, there's no question about that.
Yeah, it does, it does impact you. Giving away a penalty is never nice, it's even more so when it's really harsh. It's for me, it's not a penalty, and it throws you for a little bit, and we've seen that there with slack in possession, but they've been fortunate here. They've got a corner, they need to make the most of it.
Yeah, it's fortuitous corner, just came bouncing off a home player and behind. The Rangers have a corner here. I think this is their first of the second half, I think. And it's going to be flight in by Tavernier, right-footed out swinger, too close to the keeper. And the home fans roar as if they've scored another goal there. 81.5 played. Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0.
I mean, I would expect that Rangers would have watched Saint-Gilloise in their set play, what they do defensively for set plays. They're all in the 6-yard box. So if you're hitting an outswinger, which Rangers have all night, keep it away from that area. Keep it out of there, so the goalkeeper can't come from it, and your defenders have got to run on the ball, whereas they keep playing it right on top of the goalkeeper or right on top of the defenders, and they've had absolutely no joy at all from set pieces tonight.
Almost 60 years since the home team played a European tie. As Rangers come forward, Cholak right gets back onto it, he's in the box, penalty. He goes down, is that a penalty?
Oh, no.
Ball taken, says the referee. There is VAR, of course, so if there is a foul there, we'll know about it shortly. But Scott Wright was certainly clipped, but was enough of the ball taken? The referee says yes. Richard Foster's instinct was penalty,
he ball.
But he sees the replay. Burgess, who's been brilliant all night. It's a clean challenge, and you see the replay. 82.5 played. It stays with Rangers trailing by 2-0.
But it just shows you what an injection of pace. Someone who's willing to drive into the box with the ball, go and play a couple of passes, make things happen. As a defender, it's awful to defend against that, because one little slip and you give away a penalty, that they can score a goal, and we haven't seen that from Tillman or Matondo. And Scott Wright coming on, obviously got something to prove. Played in the final last year, as you said. He's a threat because he's prepared just to run at players.
Yeah, he played in the Europa League final, started it, came off the bench in the Scottish Cup final and scored Rangers second in that 2-0 extra time win over Hearts. 83 played in this first leg. Rangers 2-0 behind this time, and it was something that besieged them last term. They so often conceded the first goal in games. It's the same story at Livingston on Saturday, though they turned that around, turned that into 3 points. They would love a 2-1 defeat tonight if they can score a goal, get back to within 1 ahead of the second leg. Here comes Scott Wright driving forward. It's brilliant ball carrying by Scott Wright, gets up to around about the edge of the box and goes down, and it's he who's given away the free kicks, is the referee, as he brought down Van der Heyden, and it stays Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0.
Yes, it's a great driving run from Scott Wright. He just runs into too many opponents. Great defending for Van der Heyden, gets his body across him and takes the ball off him, goes down and gets a free kick. But even that, I just enjoy the fact that he's willing to pick the ball up in his own half and drive his way forward. He's willing to make things happen, and we haven't seen that from Rangers this evening until Scott Wright's came on.
Simon Diengra's going to come off. He's on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion, who he moved to just this summer. He was at Nordsjælland in Denmark. last season, scored 10 goals for them, and he's been a thorn for Rangers to deal with tonight. And he'll be replaced by Saint-Gilloise Academy product in Ile Ziane. He's only 19. He was captain of the under-21 side at the age of 18. So he's obviously someone they hold in high regard. And Ziane is on for what is now just 5 minutes of regulation time remaining. Can Rangers find something, claw something back into this tie before the second leg in Glasgow a week tonight? Slapoussan on this near side. Options ahead, and he's found one in Tiumau, got the first one in the first half. And it's well read this time by James Sands, who knocks it back to Goldson. A foul there actually on Sands, just as he released the ball by Van Zier, who scored the penalty that made it 2-0 and has made this challenge so much harder for Rangers. As Lundstrom shuffles it to his left for Ben Davis, and now it's with Goldson, who finds Sands out to Tavernier on the near side. To say the home fans have made a din from the very first minute to this point. They're absolutely loving what they're seeing.
They certainly have, and we've also been treated to a very exuberant fan right in front of us who's
enjoying himself.
Blocked our view for most of the match. But they've got every right to. Their team have played well, winning 2-0. Their first foray into Champions League football. It's a night they're going to enjoy, I'm sure, and remember for a while, as long as it stays the way it does.
Right, looking for Tavernier, but he can't get back onto it, and it's Lazare. He comes away with it and rolls it out to the right hand side. There's been plenty plastic cups full of that world famous beer that's made in this town that I mentioned earlier, being flung around the stand in front of us. Ben
Too
Davis
much
picks up
clearly.
Oh, I mean, exactly. Well, the Rangers supporters, though, have a few of them tonight regardless, but they would love their team to score a goal that would give them something to celebrate. And it's the home team in possession down on this near side with Lapoussin back to his goalkeeper, who hits it first time with the left foot up towards the halfway line, where Kamara will nod it back to Connor Goldson and passes it all the way back to McLaughlin. We approach 87 minutes. Well, clearly the VAR is obviously the one that spotted the handball. The referee didn't see it. We didn't see it at the time either. We were wondering actually what the stoppage was for, what the referee was taking advisement on, because we hadn't seen a replay and it wasn't immediately obvious because the shot was so powerful at the edge of the box, and then it ricocheted back off Davis and then off Goldson's hand. And the referee, eventually, having watched the monitor pitch side, decided to agree with the VAR that flagged it.
That for me is what highlights the fact that although we're waiting on VAR in Scotland, it's still not 100%, because I think when the ball comes at you from a yard away with that pace, as you say, Liam, I know it's ricocheted, there's nothing he can do there. You know, it does strike his arm, yes it does, he's in the box, but I don't think that's a penalty.
It was Tavernier, chip ball into the box.
It was, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Rangers come forward, Yilmaz at the edge of the box, he shoots, it's blocked, breaks back to Lundstrom. Now Ben Davis. Rangers enjoying a bit of attacking possession here as we approach 88 minutes. They are 2-0 down. Lundstrom plays it short to Wright. Wright looks and sees what's ahead of him, but what's ahead of him is every single outfield Union Saint-Gilloise player in front of their keeper. Back Kamara to Sands to Goldson, left to the centre circle, out to Ben Davis on that left hand side. Plenty in the middle, in comes the cross. Cholak can't get onto it as the goalkeeper commands his box so well, Maurice, and holds on, the 50 times capped Luxembourg keeper.
I'd say he's using his experience here.
He's gone down in the box, holding on as if he's in pain.
He comes flying out, two hands in the air, knee risen to chest height, catches the ball, and then he gets hurt somehow. Interesting.
Yeah, and the referee signalled for the Union medical team to come on. The camera's now looking at Giovanni van Bronckhorst, who has got to try and turn this around in Glasgow next week. 2-0 down. He's got the shirt sleeves rolled up, the Rangers boss down there. A muggy night here, just west of the Belgian capital, Brussels.
I think the good thing from a Rangers point of view, if there is one, is they've not played well tonight. You know, when you play against a team and you play really well and they beat you 2-0, you got to hold your hands up and go, you know what, they're just a better side. But that's not the case tonight. I think Union have been good. They've been really good. They've pressed well. They've got good shape. They're well organised, and I think they've been far better than Rangers on the night. but I think Rangers can play far better than this. I think they've too many slack passes, too many just players not performing to the level that we've seen them perform at last season, and tonight they've really struggled.
Final 20 seconds of the 90 minutes. Maurice with a long ball, comes off Tavernier's head. Now to play. It goes for a Rangers throw-in. Bowled back the way to Goldson. Goldson short to Ben Davis. The injury time will be 4 minutes. We're into the first of those. Rangers seeing more of the ball in Union territory. So perhaps these 4 minutes could be a big, big 4 minutes in the context of this Champions League third qualifying round tie. Connor Goldson playing it short there to Sands to the right of the circle and into the Union half. Out to Tavernier, his pass forward's been cut out. He was looking for Kamara. Union get it away, but only as far as Tavernier again. Haven't seen much of him as an attacking force this evening. Haven't seen much of Rangers as an attacking force, unfortunately, from their point of view. It's picked up by Tom Lawrence, who rolls it back to Ben Davis. Now it's with Goldson in the centre circle. Rangers running out of time if they're to make an impact on this first leg. Davis out to the left for Yilmaz. Moves in field, midway inside enemy territory, short to Lawrence under immediate pressure. The energy levels are superb from the Belgians, and Lawrence is adjudged to have fouled Tuma, who stays down, and Lawrence gets his yellow card. We played one of the 4 minutes of injury time, 3 to go, and it's Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0.
That's what they've done exceptionally well the whole night. They've forced Rangers into sideways passes, they've forced Rangers into backwards passes, and then that's the point they press. And the amount of balls they've nicked in midfield, the amount of fouls they've won because of it has been very, very impressive. But that all comes because they've got a very good shape and a good structure, and they each know what their players are going to do around about them.
Vanzier's coming off, he scored the penalty. And it looks as though he is going to be replaced by Cameron Puertas, a Swiss with Spanish citizenship. It might be Tuma to come off as well to double change. Double change for Union Saint-Gilloise. And Rangers have only 2 minutes of injury time left. On is coming Puertas. And those are the changes for the home team. 2-0 up they are. And some of the Rangers fans have left the stadium, but plenty have stayed to the end. But they're absolutely loving life, the home supporters. They were 50 years outside of the top flight, came straight back in last season, and were top of the league after the end of the regular season. We're being pipped by Club Brugge, and they've got a corner here, I think. It's come off Ben Davis down on that far side, so Union Saint-Gilloise are going to get one of the last chances of this first leg. Can they make it 3? Can Rangers keep it at 2? This could be the difference between being able to turn this round next week and not. It's final minute of injury time, 4 were added. Ref might add on a bit more because of the subs. Out-swinging corner coming up here. Plenty forward for it as well. In it comes, the corner comes off Lundstrom's head up into the air. It drops down into the 6-yard box, and Goldson's put it behind for another corner. Rangers struggling to get out of here at 2-0 behind at the end of this first leg. Panicky stuff from Goldson that time. Only about 20 odd seconds left. And another out-swinging corner into the box. It comes, a header down and off the line by Tavernier. That was going in. That would have been 3. It stays at 2. And Rangers' Champions League hopes were just about on life support there. But that's the 4 minutes of injury time played. As I say, the Bosnian ref looks as though he's going to add a bit of time on for the subs, but it's back with Maurice, the Union goalkeeper, with a long left foot ball. Underneath it is Tavernier, and now it's Lundstrom. It's a poor touch from him, and now they could be under pressure. The last few kicks of the ball here, Kamara gets in the road of it, and now it's right forward to Cholak. Wright's gone down. The referee didn't see it as Kamara passes it back to Goldson. And this first leg's over. And Rangers have a lot to do in Glasgow in 7 days' time, because they've been beaten in this first leg in Belgium, and well beaten in truth. A header there from Burgess right at the end, cleared off the line by the Rangers skipper Tavernier, prevented the scoreline being even more problematic for Giovanni van Bronckhorst and his players, because they've lost this one 2-0, a goal in each half. Tuma with the first on 27 minutes, before the long VAR delay resulted in Goldson being adjudged to have handled the ball illegally in the box after the ricochet back off his teammate Ben Davis. And after the delay, Vanzier with the Cam penalty rolled into the bottom right corner. John McLaughlin went the other way. And there was that chance right at the end that could have made it 3. Difficult, but not impossible for Rangers when they get Union back to Glasgow next week and the second leg at Ibrox. Their Champions League hopes are not over, far from it, but they've put themselves in a very difficult position. That's a heck of a hole to climb out of, but it's not over yet. They finished here in Leuven, just west of the capital, Brussels. Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Rangers 0.
Rangers in the Champions League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.